Hi friends, it's Rabbi Briskin with a thought for Shabbat. Several months ago, I came across a book with an eye-catching title. It's called, I'm Dead, Now What? Important information about my belongings, business affairs, and wishes. The idea of this book is that you take all of the important information that's probably gathered and scattered all over the place, and you put it into one place so that when our time comes, our loved one has a record of our wishes and our needs and is able to help deal with the aftermath of our deaths more easily. So like a good son, I purchased this book and sent it to my parents. I put a nice little note on there because I thought it would be helpful for them, if they haven't already, to put everything into one place. They're not the most computer savvy folks, and I figured just writing it down might be easier for them. The reason why I think about this book, this Shabbat, is because it reminds me of this week's Torah portion, Parashat Vayehi. In this Torah portion, the last in the book of Genesis, a book really, comes to an end. Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Rachel, and Leah all die. And now we begin a new chapter next week with Parashat Shemot in the book of Exodus, as we go from a family community of our patriarchs and matriarchs to an Israelite community. So in Parashat Vayehi, Jacob is putting all of his affairs in order. It's as if he is filling in the pages of this book. I'm dead, now what? So what does he want? A few things. He first wants to bless his grandchildren, Ephraim and Manasseh, which he does. And then he gathers his children around his bedside to offer each one some words of advice and blessing. He also wants to get assurances from them. He wants to make sure that his children will carry on the traditions of his ancestors, and he gets that promise from his children. He also wants to be sure that he is buried in the land of his fathers, in the land of Canaan, in the family burial plot in Machpelah. And they promised to do that as well. So now that Jacob's heart is content and at rest, he knows that his wishes will be fulfilled, he feels that he can die peacefully, knowing that he has done all that he can do. When I had to fly out to Milwaukee earlier this week to lay to rest my beloved aunt, Joyce Kahn, I thought about this as well, because this was someone who also had her affairs in order, and she had the opportunity to say everything that she wanted to her children and grandchildren. And she died a quiet, peaceful death, content, surrounded by her family. Now, we don't know when we're going to die. God willing, we will be able to live for many, many more years, live long into old age, one that is healthy of body and mind and spirit. But we know that at some point our days on earth will come to an end. So I hope and pray that, like my parents, God willing, like my Aunt Joyce, like Jacob in our Torah portion, that we will say all that we need to say, that our affairs will be in order, and that we will be able to leave this world secure, knowing that we've done all that we could to provide for our children and grandchildren. So perhaps you want to go out and buy this book, or at least make sure everything is in order. It's a really nice gift that you can give to your descendants so that they will know how to honor you when that time comes. At the end of the book of Genesis, or of any Torah portion, or any book of Torah, we say, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Be strong, may we be strengthened. May we find strength from our ancestors, from the stories of our tradition, and from the great blessings that our loved ones bestow upon us. Shabbat Shalom.